Okay, and for tonight, this is what we're going to be looking for. That is going to be the main story of the evening because of the fact that we have got this powerful punch of cold air going right down into our area off the Great Lakes. This is going to be some of the coldest air of the season. Quite possibly, I don't think we're looking at any record low temperatures, but we are going to be seeing the potential of some dangerous conditions if you're going to be outdoors, stuck in traffic with not enough fuel. That is going to be a situation as well. And we mentioned that because of the fact that we are seeing, again, some pretty big problems on parts of the interstates tonight. If you were watching News 12 at any point in time during the day, had some jackknife trailers back over to our west. We'll take a look at that coming up here in just a little bit. So for tonight, does not look to be, again, anything in the way of moisture coming down or anything in the way of severe weather, but it is going to be dangerous nonetheless out there. So getting things started, welcome if you're on Twitch TV. Say hello in the chat function. If you're on Facebook, say hello in the comments section, and glad to have you aboard for everything for tonight's exclusive video weather blog from the News 12 studios in downtown Chattanooga. Let's take a look and see what's going on outside right now. We would give you a different view on Island Cove, but the camera is frozen literally in place, so we cannot change we can zoom in and we can zoom out, but we can't turn. We can't do, I think that's pitch or yaw. I can't remember which one that is. Ground school was a long time ago, but some decent 2 to 3 foot long icicles hanging off the marina roof. So a decent amount of some melting and refreezing going on there. Downtown, as you can see up here, got some clear skies and the stars visible. Decently clear view all the way off to the southwest from the Bailey's Heating and Air camera. Looking back toward the area around Lookout Mountain, got some decent quiet conditions, but very, very much on the cold side. Lee Point, 153 and 64. The bridges and overpasses where anything melted and then flash froze again today. That's going to be your worst bet. Signal Mountain Drive off of 27 when I went home earlier tonight. The area into and around where that curve goes around from 27 north to Signal Mountain, that had a lot of snow and ice in it. If you take that too fast, you get one or two of your tires to stray too far. That's where you start winding up with some problems. Right now, the main drags are looking pretty good. Excuse me, I don't think we're seeing too much of any major concerns. Again, it's those sidebar areas. We'll talk more about that in just a little bit. That scrum of traffic that was moving through, or barely moving through, on I-24 westbound, it looks like that traffic now has finally cleared up a little bit. Hopefully that extends all the way out to the west as we look at Chattanooga Red Wolf Stadium. The traffic jam from way over west of Chattanooga, 40 or 50 miles of traffic jam today. That's how bad it was, and that traffic jam extended all the way over to 2475, and that is where we're seeing less of a problem for tonight. The roadways very well treated. A lot of that moisture last night has evaporated, so we do not have a lot going on in the way of backups here, so good news on that. And a frigid Coolidge Park for tonight. You can clearly see, hopefully, there we go, the ice and the snow still in and around the park area. The walkways and the driveway area still covered over by snow and sleet, and a very sluggish looking Tennessee River for tonight. So that is what we're looking at for right now from the News 12 EPB Fiber Optics WeatherCam network. We had a high temperature today, somewhere in the 20s. We'll take a look at the almanac in just a little bit. 15 degrees right before 10 o'clock Eastern, a wind chill of 5 degrees above zero. Winds are out of the northwest at approximately 7 miles per hour. So we were getting into some very chilly numbers. Curious to see what the situation was. High temperature today right at freezing, which is our normal low temperature for this time of the year. Normal high is 51, record high 73. Record low for today, Tuesday, is 2 degrees. We'll have to see what the record low is for tomorrow coming up. And we managed to get a 1/10 of an inch just over precipitation for the day. So not what you would call a bunch of snow or sleet out there. Kind of interesting that our high temperature for the day was the average low temperature out there. That was something else. Let's go a little bit farther to the west and see if that problem has cleared up. Traffic on westbound 24 at the Georgia state line, right around Interstate 59. Thick, but moving along. At least it's a lot better than what it was just a little while ago. From Moccasin Bend, a couple of incidents. Looks like we got a couple of stalled vehicles and traffic moving along. TDOT moving the camera back around. Looks like several, oh dear, looks like a possible semi-trailer on fire going on there, and then also numerous emergency vehicles on westbound 24 all the way back to almost downtown. So we're looking at some, looks like some more problems here. If you're traveling on I-24 westbound out of Chattanooga heading toward Birmingham, and that again is a bit of a problem. Going back over, looking across the Tennessee River at that bend around Moccasin Bend, and there are a lot more slowed down traffic out there. Looks like numerous semi-trailers on the side there, but traffic is getting by on the westbound lane, so not too sure what's going on here. And so far, no indications from TDOT regarding anything that's really happening. Matter of fact, nothing from TDOT at this time showing up at this point, but a lot thicker traffic back over toward Lookout Valley. So that could be a bit of an issue if you're heading out the door. Let's go further to the east, I-24 at McBrien. And we do have, again, a lot less traffic than what we saw last night. A lot of people staying indoors and away from having to travel. A lot less traffic at this time through that construction zone, but traffic moving basically at speed. Those medians, though, are still chock full of ice, and the breakdown lanes as well. From Tennessee 27 around Morrison Springs, we do have some views of that. You can pretty well clearly see the median and the breakdown lanes. They're very light colored, so we are able to see just a little bit of what the situation is there in regards to what's going on with the amount of ice that is still in the roadways. Traffic is still moving through this area, so I don't see too much of a problem here for anything involved in the situation. Pardon me while I update the date on Twitch. Apologies for that. I thought I had that taken care of from earlier on there, but for right now, we do not have really much of anything showing a bit of a slowdown across the area. So good news, it looks like things have really improved across the area for tonight. Let's go back to where that accident was earlier quickly at West Cummings Road. A lot of snow and ice in the median, the breakdown lanes back to the south and west of Chattanooga. And then the one thing to look out for tonight is going to be anything that melted and refroze, flash freezing out there for tonight. Everything, this is just north of the Tennessee River, North Shore area there, back up towards Stringer's Ridge at the top. And traffic, again, very much on the dry side for the most part in some of the lanes is looking okay, but noticing that breakdown lane, got a lot of ice and snow. Anything that was protected by those concrete barriers where the sun never shone today, with that shadow out there, that is where we're going to be seeing the potential for some slush and snow that has been left over, and that could be a major problem for taking a curve too steep across the area and even into around the breakdown lanes as Manufacturers Road comes up to meet Tennessee 27. You can see some of that, again, not doing too bad in the way of anything. Let's go back here real quick to MLK Junior Boulevard, and you can see that clearly, that ice patch there and in the breakdown lanes over there. So as those cars come around, you catch a little bit too much of that ice and you're going to spin out very quickly. And notice that some of that ice goes into the exit lane from MLK Boulevard to where it gets down to around downtown, that next exit toward about the area right around the smack of downtown. So a lot of heavy traffic at this time, at least for this time of night, and that is where we're going to be seeing some of the slick conditions out there. All right, that's enough of the traffic. That's going to change enough into the next about 24 hours or so. Jeff Peterson from Dunlap, thanks for coming on through here. Mount Airy section, 4 degrees, a high of 16, almost balmy out there. Total snow and even 11 inches. Areas north of Chattanooga did pick up the lion's share of that. That's the highest one that I've heard in this particular area. So thanks a lot for keeping track of that, Mr. Peterson from Dunlap. Temperatures right now, these are air temperatures. This is not wind chill. These are air temperatures. 6 degrees in Mont Eagle, 8 degrees where Mr. Peterson is checking in from, the official recording station there. Also 8 degrees a little bit farther north around Pikeville, 9 degrees in South Pittsburgh, and temperatures go downwards from here on out into early tomorrow morning. Now, the current wind chill temperatures are even worse. Combine that wind with the colder temperatures. For those of you who are going to say it's a government conspiracy, there is no such thing as a wind chill. It's just a way for meteorologists on TV to gain viewers. No, it's an actual thing. There's an actual mathematical equation that will give you the wind chill by combining the speed of the winds, the current temperature, things like that. For those of you who want to call it a government conspiracy, fine, knock yourself out, but don't email me. You're not going to get anything in the way of sympathy out of that, because it is, in fact, a real mathematical formula. Yes, I've had people say stuff like that to me before. No, I wish I was not kidding about I wish I was kidding about that. In fact, I am not. Now, what we're going to be getting in the way of those wind chills, that punch of cold air, that very cold air, we're on the leading edge of that, but those single-digit temperatures, 8 degrees in Jackson, Mississippi, that's something else. 15 in Montgomery and 7 in Birmingham, Alabama. It's 7 right now in Atlanta, Georgia, if that gives you any idea. Now, looking into tomorrow morning, what are we expecting as we get closer to around the time frame of dawn patrol tomorrow morning? That is where we're going to see the coldest of the cold pop up, and that is where we see numbers about -1. Decatur, Tennessee, -9, -5 in Scottsboro, -7 in Mont Eagle. That's going to be the type of weather that gives you frostbite on exposed skin within about a minute or so. It's really that bad. So again, going out, walking the dog in the morning, you're really going to have to bundle up yourself to make certain that you are not going to wind up with some of that frostbite situation. Gloves, hat, scarf, heavy coat, layers. Make certain you're protected against all of this, because we're talking about some very powerful, dangerously cold wind chills, in fact, through the evening and into tomorrow. So please make certain you're protecting yourself on this. Now, because of this, the National Weather Service has issued a wind chill advisory for the entire News 12 viewing area in light blue. That's in effect until 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, Wednesday. Now, we also have, you notice the kind of discoloration over here, that is a wind chill warning, and that is issued for wind chills -10 and below, and that's exactly what we're looking at again for right now, as we see that potential of getting into some exceptionally dangerously cold weather tomorrow. But that is just outside of the News 12 viewing area. So for Hamilton County, Chattanooga, everybody in the News 12 viewing area is under a wind chill advisory, and for very good reason. Into tomorrow, we're talking about some of those dangerously cold numbers. We'll have an update for you coming up on News 12 at 11 o'clock for there. Taking a look at the clouds and radar, there are no clouds out there, but the temperature scan, this is an infrared temperature scan, the clouds, the satellite thinks these are clouds because of their cold tops out there. The reading that temperature out there is what looks to be this murky gray color. The clouds are in fact well on over to the East Coast and down to the Gulf Coast. That's that leading edge of the colder air making its way away from us. But this is all clear skies, and without those clouds to hold the heat of the day in, clouds depart, heat radiates away, and down go the temperatures into the rest of the evening. Now, we do have our latest storm system all the way gone. We have a couple of days of some sunshine coming on through. Our next storm system is sitting here over the high plains, and this will be moving our direction, gaining strength. That'll be our next winter storm coming through. We'll time that out for you in a minute. This, on the west coast, is the storm that will slowly make its way across the country into next week. That will be the next best chance of rain and some warmer temperatures. And yes, without burying the lead, yes, there are the possibility of some warmer temperatures out there. So for the next 24 hours, and therefore even beyond that, high pressure with single-digit temperatures tomorrow morning, low temperatures tomorrow morning. There, we might broach freezing again tomorrow, maybe, but it's going to be a stretch to do that. Temperatures not quite as chilly, but very cold on Thursday morning, into the teens again. And then that system sets up, drawing some moisture off the Gulf of Mexico. As it gets closer to us, it'll be moving in about rush hour and afterwards on Thursday. And that is where, again, the temperatures are going to give, that's going to be the determining factor in who gets what. Right now, it looks like rain snow mix to the north of the Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee line, around Chattanooga and south. That is where we may pick up the potential for just plain rainfall, maybe some sleet pellets and snow mixed in, depending on what happens. But notice that this amount of moisture right here is nowhere close to what we just went through. So this is going to be relatively limited in the next few days. Yes, there is a possibility of some precipitation. No, it is not going to be as much as what we saw in the last 24 hours, somewhere in there. So that's looking good into much of tomorrow. Then we get that system rolling through. By Saturday morning, everything is pretty much done, but with that cold air mixing in with that moisture, we could see some snow showers again Friday morning. Slick roadways, again, iffy at this point. We'll keep our eyes on that. By Friday afternoon, everything is gone. Maybe some snow in the higher elevations of the Appalachians, and then everything done and over with, and another cold evening coming up as we get into around Friday night, Saturday morning. So that is where we're going to be seeing most of the problems there. So into overnight and the next couple of days, let's get the 7-day going so we can show a little bit more here. Again, our Island Cove Marina and Resort camera in the background. This is what we're going to be looking for the next couple of days. Right at freezing tomorrow, if we're lucky and we get enough sunshine. Next storm system comes in Friday into around Saturday morning, and that is going to give us that potential for rain at first, maybe some snow showers mixed in with that, maybe some sleet, maybe some freezing rain. Again, it depends on when that temperature mixes up and through portions of the area, so something to think about for traveling purposes there. Into the weekend, really dropping our numbers again. A cold start to the weekend with numbers back into the mid-20s, just over freezing on Sunday. Nice warm-up on Monday. That's looking pretty good at this time. Numbers back in the mid to upper 40s and lower 50s. That is very close to normal, what we should be for this time of the year. Between here and there, we've got some very chilly numbers to deal with. And then Monday into Tuesday looks like the possibility of some rain. It does not look to be a huge amount for now. So far, there's no indications looking that far ahead of any severe weather. We'll keep our eyes on that, and we'll let you know about it as we go through the next several days. The prime thing we have to get over is these temperatures into tonight, and that's going to be the most dangerous out there. And we're going to come very close to that as we go toward Saturday morning. Numbers again, I would be not surprised to see some single-digit numbers coming up across portions of the area. So that, again, is going to be our primary concern for right now. So keep it tuned to News 12, and we'll let you know more about what we might be seeing as that secondary storm system comes our way into the rest of the week. Apropos for the season, this has been a very nice kind of minimalist way of approaching things. Couple of snowflakes on the very, very close up. If you've ever heard of Wilson Bentley, he was a meteorologist back during the turn of the last century, somewhere in there, and he became known as Snowflake Bentley because of his love of photographing snowflakes with a magnifying lens on his camera against a black, very cold background so the snowflakes would not melt. That's really cool. If you see some of his artwork, his amazing photographic pictures, Wilson Snowflake Bentley, if you'd like to check that out at some point. But in this case, thanking Sarah Elizabeth Walker Jones of SEW Photography for giving us our Langley Roofing weather window picture of the day. She posted this to our Facebook page, so if you have any pictures available and would like to send them in, please send them in to us at pictures@wdef.com, or do like she did and send them in to our Facebook, X, or Instagram pages. We'd love to see what you're seeing out there and to send them in to us as soon as possible. We could use some of the new ones out across much of the area if you're taking those pictures. A little bit on the cloudy side overnight, possibly a few clouds out there, but mainly a little bit breezy, very much on the sharp side for those schools that are in session tomorrow, and high temperatures back in the lower 30s by tomorrow afternoon. I have a friend of mine from the University of Kansas. His name is Jim Young. He stayed at my dorm, Joseph R. Pearson Hall, back in Lawrence, Kansas, at the University of Kansas. And he would be the type of person to go out and golf in this weather. So if Jim Young is watching, more power to you. I'll be back in the nice warm dormitory waiting to hear if you actually made par this time around. But with temperatures like this and winds like this, that's going to be some very difficult weather to go out and grab 8, 9, or 18 holes. So if you're going to be outdoors doing that, more power to you. Have fun. Be careful. Be safe. But you're more than welcome to have that out there. Same thing for going out in the great outdoors, hiking, fishing, boating. It's going to be cold. It's going to be dry. It's going to be mostly sunny, but winds could gust upwards of about 10 miles per hour or so. So we could be looking again at a possible very dangerous situation out across much of the area for being outdoors unprepared. That's going to be one of the worst things you can possibly do, and that's going to make for a miserable time out there. This weekend, January 20th, 3 to 6 p.m., Barnard Astronomical Society will be holding their new telescope workshop. If you got a telescope as a gift for the holiday gift-giving season, if you've had a telescope for the last umpteen years and you don't know how to operate it, bring the telescope and any documentation, any booklets of instructions, things like that, to Outdoor Chattanooga at the Philip Grimes Center, 200 River Street, this coming Saturday, the 20th, at 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. That's in Chattanooga. If you'd like to know more, go to barnardastronomy.org, and you'll be able to find out more about how to participate and become an amateur astronomer by using your information there. It'll be a great opportunity to learn a little bit more about how your telescope works, get your kids involved in astronomy, get yourself involved in astronomy. It's a very cool hobby and one of the best places you can go to around here. Again, barnardastronomy.org if you would like to learn a little bit more about what's going on there. I know we are not, again, exactly to the date. We are coming up on that time of year, leading up to February and March. The peak of severe weather season is just ahead of us, the severe weather season for this area of the country, and now is the time to plan ahead. Less than a month ago for the next Skywarn meeting for the Chattanooga-Hamilton County area, Friday, February 9th, 6 p.m., CHI Memorial Hospital, that's on DeSales Avenue. Register to attend. It's totally free. Your tax dollars, my tax dollars help pay for these meetings, taught by the National Weather Service personnel at Morristown, which cover Hamilton County. And if you'd like to register for a seat so the National Weather Service can find out how many people are coming, go to weather.gov/MRX, and you can register for that. Now is the time to start planning ahead to learn more about severe weather before severe weather rolls in. If you would like to learn more about severe weather online because you can't attend a Skywarn meeting, find out more from Comet MetEd or Meteorological Education site and take the Skywarn class online. And then you can register with the local National Weather Service office and take an in-person class when they're available nearby. There'll be more meetings in the next several weeks. We'll bring, those to you as we get them. We're covered by 4 National Weather Service offices in the News 12 Chattanooga area. So a lot of different meetings from different offices for different counties. If you want to take this course, go to meted.ucar, University Center for Atmospheric Research.edu, meted.ucar.edu, and you can take that class and be just a little bit more prepared for the possibility of severe weather. One more time for tonight, again, we are looking at some very dangerously cold weather. Wind chill advisory here, wind chill warning back to the west of us into Middle Tennessee and north central parts of Alabama. This has now been extended until the wind chill advisory has now been extended until 12 noon tomorrow. So that's one more hour because the temperatures are not going to be warming up that much. So it is going to be brutally cold tomorrow morning. And once again, by about the next 8 hours or so, about the time you're getting up and going, it could be below zero in Chattanooga, well below zero in the Cumberland Plateau area, and just above zero, that's a very small comfort right there, but just above zero east and south of Chattanooga. Rome, Georgia, you might get down to 8 degrees. Decatur, Tennessee, you're going to be very close to minus 10 by the time the sun rises, and it's going to take a lot of sunshine to warm things up as we head into tomorrow. So be prepared for this. This right here is the big weather story of the day, so it's time to make sure that everybody knows exactly what is coming their direction. Let's take one more look back toward I-24 and the Georgia state line. That's good. Less headlights, and so far it looks like less is happening in the way of slowdowns there. From around Moccasin Bend, we still have some trouble with numerous vehicles on the side of the roadway, but traffic on the westbound lanes is moving. Eastbound lanes not seeing a problem, but numerous flashing lights around Moccasin Bend, right around the Tennessee River before you go past Lookout Mountain. So if you're heading southwest out of Chattanooga toward 59, Birmingham, Nashville, this could be a bit of a problem. Also on the plateau up around Mont Eagle, be very, very careful because it took a lot of work to clear that out today and to make certain everybody stayed out of the ditch, because as of right now, that's the last place you want to be with a dry tank. I-24 McBrien, the scrum has cleared off from that area there. And once again, for our area right now, we're seeing again some very clear skies above Island Cove, but we are also seeing some very cold temperatures, now down to 15 degrees with a sharp northwesterly wind at about 9 miles per hour. So we are seeing again some dangerously cold weather out there. Please be careful in the morning, bundle up, and get ready for some very cold conditions and a repeat performance coming up as we go into tomorrow. We'll have more information on the forecast coming up as we go on News 12 at 11 with myself and Andrew Harrison, Rick Nyman as your sports report. And of course, Chip Chapman will have more bright and early tomorrow morning on traffic. The road conditions out there are maybe a bit of a problem. Black ice may be a situation into tomorrow. So please consider that as well. Allow for a little bit of extra time. Again, not a morning to go rushing off without knowing what's heading your way or what's in your way between you and work or you and school. And check our website, wdef.com, to see if schools are out. If it's been sent to us, it will be listed on the weather page, and you can access that again from wdef.com. And the weather forecast and more details always available at wdef.com/weather. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek. This has been Weather Overtime for Tuesday night, the 16th of January. More coming up tonight at 10, more tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Eastern on the morning show. And please, let's be careful out there as we go through a very icy and very cold night.